Good day everyone, especially to Coach J. Martinez. I am Miss Tricia Santos, the little teacher of Study Hub 5, and my members are Francine Fresco, Joyce Anser Guido, Isabel Enriquez. So for today's video is we are going to discuss to you the 10 learning principle theories.
Sigmund Freud. Psychoanalytic theory is the theory of personality organization and the dynamics of personality development that guides psychoanalysis, a clinical method for treating psychopathology, first laid out by Sigmund Freud in the late 19th century. Psychoanalytic theory has undergone many refinements since his work. Application in the classroom. Psychoanalytic theory is applied in the classroom, or more generally, in the educational context by taking the knowledge developed of how individuals can grow in favorable environments. In this way, psychoanalytic theory proposes the avoidance of emotional blocking as well as repression of sublimation. Example: he lost his keys because somewhere in his unconscious mind he did not want to go to work that day and actually wanted to quit his job. He wouldn't consciously just miss work, but the key misplacement could be an excuse to help make that happen. Psychosexual theory. Psychosexual development is a central element of psychoanalytic sexual drive theory. Freud believed that the personality developed through a series of childhood stages in which pleasure-seeking energies from the child became focused on a certain erogenous areas. Application in the classroom. The theory emphasizes the essence and childhood experience in modeling future adults. The theory acts as raw materials for parenting practices and psychosexual implications, and at the same time providing the theoretical framework for solving the libido and desires of different stages. Example: a person who is fixated at the oral stage, for example, may be over-dependent on others and may seek oral stimulation through smoking, drinking, or eating. Jean Piaget. Cognitive theory. The theory of cognitive development by Jean Piaget, the Swiss psychologist, suggests that children's intelligence undergoes changes as they grow. Cognitive development in children is not only related to acquiring knowledge. Children need to build or develop a mental model of their surrounding world. Application in the classroom. Encouraging discussions about what is being taught. Helping students explore and understand how ideas are connected. Asking students to justify and explain their thinking using visualization and improve students' understanding and recall. Example: a child may have a schema about a type of animal such as dog. If the child's sole experience has been with the small dogs, a child might believe that all dogs are small, furry, and have four legs.
Psychosocial Theory of Development by Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson was a German-American developmental psychologist and known for his theory on psychological development of human beings. Psychosocial theory of development, the first stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, occurs between birth 1 year of age and is the most fundamental stage. So, example of psychosocial development by Erik Erikson. They become able to take the perspective of others and to understand that other people's behavior is based on their knowledge and desires. Sociocultural Theory by Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky was a psychologist known for his work on psychological development in children. He published on a diverse range of subjects and formed multiple views as his perspective changed over the year. Sociocultural theory is considered primary a developmental theory. It focuses on change in behavior over time, especially on changes that occurs as individuals mature from infancy to childhood to adolescence and finally to adulthood. Example of social cultural theory by Lev Vygotsky. One culture teaches children to play with toys while the other encourages them to play outdoors.
My topic is operant conditioning by B.F. Skinner. Operant conditioning was first described by behaviors B.F. Skinner, which is why you may occasionally hear it referred. Skinner believed that it was not really necessary to look at internal cues and motivation in order to explain behavior. Truly, the first part of the 20th century behaviorism became a major force with psychology. The ideas of John D. Watson dominated this school of thought. Early on, Watson focused on the principle of classical conditioning.
Metacognitive by John H. Flavel. John H. Flavel is an developmental physiologist specializing in children's cognitive development. Metacognitive theory. In the 1971 metamemory, Flavel proposed the terms of metamemory to explain thinking about storing and recall information. This later changed in metacognitive. In 1976, metacognitive skills development in children in Flavel identifies the three stages of meta skills development in early childhood. Flavel concept of meta memory. It's intentional thinking about how to think can be suitable upon it need to be strategized and based on the specific techniques such as self-questioning. So it's more about self-questioning. We question ourselves if it is we need to have strategic techniques to possible problem. It's foresighted. We need to plan our thinking before conducting a task, coming up plan of attack for our studies. So this one is it's more about thinking a plan before going to make it. A plan that concrete. For example, a math problem. Before we answer this we think a possible formula for the possible solution. To accomplish a goal, we should be using meta strategy to be better at learning or working. Application. Teachers should use metacognitive strategies to their student. Physiologists can use them to help their client. Learner can use them to improve their studying techniques. Metacognitive strategies are used to help students to become aware of their thinking process while they use them. So the metacognitive strategies is called for the student to put the emphasize their ability to focus to reflect their prior knowledge and reflection to what there still must be learned. Importance of teaching metacognitive skills. It's important to teach students the metacognitive skills because they show students how to adapt different learning situations. This is possible because the student learning about just the subject matters, the goals, and affecting the metacognitive strategies to foster the student abilities to analyze what they know and understand. That's why it is important to have these skills to teaching. So we're going to the Law of Learning by Edward Thorndike. This is the last series. Edward Thorndike, one of the pioneer of education physiology. It's become famous for promoting three laws learning in early 20th century. The three laws of learning. The learning of readiness, the law of exercise, the law of effect. The law are universally accepted, apply to all kinds of learning. The law of readiness. The primary law is learning. The law suggests learning take place when an action tendency arose throughout primary adjustment to set our attitude. So the law of readiness, also known as the law of action tendency. The readiness means preparation of actions. For Thorndike, if one is not prepared to learn, then the learning cannot be automatically installed him. For example, unless a person prepare himself to start learning to play guitar, he will not make any progress and not learn playing the guitar at all. The law of exercise. The second law of learning is the law of exercise, which means that drill or practice help increasing effectively and durable of learning. The law of exercise, called the law of use and disuse. The law of use is principle more an association use stronger is become. The law of disuse states that less association is used to weaker it become. The law of exercise, also called the law of use and disuse. The law of use, the principle more an association use, stronger it become. The law of disuse, the state that less association is used, the weaker it become. The connection are strengthened with the Taylor practice and connection and weakened when the Taylor practice is disconnected needed. The law of exercise therefore is understood the law of use and disuse, in which case the connection as a bond made in the brain cortex were weakened and loosed. These are the sample cases found in the case of human learning: learning to drive a motor car, typing or writing, singing or memorizing a poem or mathematical table, and music. These examples that needed to exercise and repetition of various movement and action many times. The law of effect. The third law is the law of effect, according to which the trial or step leading to satisfaction stamp in the bond of or connection. Satisfying state leads to consolidation and strengthening of the condition, where the satisfaction's annoyance or pain lead to the weakening or stamping out connections. In fact, the law and effect satisfies that if the response satisfying the subject Y are learned and selecting, while those who are not satisfying are eliminated. Teachings therefore must be pleasing. Example, the educator must be obey the taste and interest of his pupils. In other words, greater satisfaction, the stronger will be motivate to learn. Thus, intensity is an important condition of law of effect. The three laws that show you these common laws that Edward Thorndike propounded.